Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, yeah, I'm pretty concerned about one of our representatives here. She just came out and said some things that lead me to believe that maybe she was just threatened by somebody, the DOJ or the FBI or Donald Trump's administration. I don't know. They're all kind of one thing at this point. But as you know, if you've been watching the news, we just had Pam Bondi get crucified in front of the entire country, like live on television, where we had many of our Congress members interrogating her from the front and a bunch of victims boring a hole into the back of her head from behind. And she actually seemed like she was going to snap. Like, Bondi seemed a little bit emotional at times, like she was trying to hold it together. I don't think that what we saw there was actually very performative. I think what we might be seeing is a shift from complicity in a lot of our members of Congress. I think they might actually be jumping ship, and they might be kind of doing the Ides of March thing, where they decide to go ahead and just turn on their leader and just stab Julius Caesar to death here. I think that might be what we're actually seeing right now. I think this might be a situation where we have a very dangerous animal cornered, and it is prepared to lash and thrash and bite and snarl all the way down. And so I really want to get right into these video clips that I have here for you. I have 4 of them that really demonstrate what I'm saying, okay? And I'm going to play these for you one at a time without any preface, and I want you to really think about what she is saying, and I want you to know that she is probably one of the most outspoken members of Congress when it comes to the Epstein Files. From what I can tell, she's very genuinely invested in this. Last year, she actually met with some of the victims at a hearing at the Capitol building, and she had to leave the Capitol because she got so emotional that she just couldn't take it anymore. The things that the victims were saying really, really got to her. And that, she was actually one of the people that Donald Trump tried to bring down to the Situation Room of the White House to have some kind of little talk back when Ro Khanna and Thomas Macy's Epstein Transparency Act bill was going through the motions. She was going to be one of the people on that petition to force the vote in the House of Representatives that said no, she will not vote to cancel the petition. She went through with it, and I just haven't seen anything from her that would ever suggest that she would be making these kinds of comments now, and I'll explain why that is as I play these video clips. But here's the first video clip.
And you had usually 1 to 2 monitors. You had monitors, people at the DOJ that were monitoring you, would answer your questions if you had some. There's also a tech person who would log you into the computer. They log you into the computer because every member of Congress was given a unique ID so that the DOJ could track you. And the DOJ could track the documents that you searched for, the documents that you opened, and the documents that you reviewed. I'm probably the last person, because I used to be a computer programmer, that you'd want in your software. And yesterday I was tinkering around, I was inside it, looking at some of the information included in the software, and was able to verify that the DOJ is, in fact, I would call it, quote, tagging members of Congress and the documents that they are searching and then opening and then reviewing. The minute that you touched a document, the DOJ software tagged your name in it. And if you didn't know where to look, you wouldn't know where to find it, but I did. And I wanted to verify that's what they were doing, and they were.
So this is really concerning, right? Right off the bat, she says that she had 2 monitors watching her. She had 2 people that were like watching what she was doing as she was looking at this evidence. She said that she had a tech guy log her in to whatever this is. It wasn't just like an open thing. And I think they did that. Like, it wasn't just a computer sitting there for her to go up to and start searching through. They actually had to like specifically log her into an instance of this, presumably so that they could do this ID thing. She says that they had a ID number to track every single document that she was going to so that they could go back in and review which members of Congress looked at which files. And if that doesn't scream like authoritarian nightmare, like technological authoritarian nightmare, then I don't know what does, because these are some of the most trusted people in our society. I cannot believe that they are doing this. I cannot believe that they are tagging these people's names to each document. It just doesn't seem right to me, okay? But let me play the second clip here for you guys.
Trump didn't do anything wrong. He was exonerated by victims and exonerated in the files. But, the left wants to just say his name and say Epstein, and my gosh, they can raise a bunch of money. But our focus needs to be on the victims, and the focus needs to be on getting the victims justice. Because if they can get just a little bit of justice.
So I don't even know what to make of this. Like, what the fuck? When I heard this, I was completely shocked. Shocked isn't even the right word. I'm actually very worried. I'm worried for her, and I'm worried what kind of situation we're about to see unfold. Honest to God. She said that Trump was exonerated by Files and the victims. Exonerated of what exactly? Of the sexual abuse or the cover-up? Because I'm not convinced of the former, and I certainly know that the latter is true. I mean, he has been covering this up. That is pretty much a dead solid point. You know, I don't see what victims? Which victims are saying that he's exonerated? What files? I mean, you got to understand that she went in there for maybe 3 or 4 hours at most to look at these files. She had some specific stuff in mind that she was looking up on the computers. How the fuck does she say that the files exonerate him? I mean, there's over 3.5 million that have been released. There's absolutely no way she could have gone through every one of them forensically, tied anything together, and completely exonerated Trump. This is so weird. Honestly, like, I feel like I'm having the same reaction to that comment that she made as I would if somebody that I cared about suddenly was slurring their speech and like half of their face was drooping, like they were having a stroke. I have the same level of concern for that statement as if she was having a stroke. I mean, this is serious. I think she might actually being threatened, because then she says we need to focus on the victims and help them. She basically moves into like pulling the spotlight away from Trump and just saying like, oh, we just need to focus on the victims. No, we don't. We also need to focus on the perpetrators, right? I mean, that's the whole point of this. But here, it gets even worse. Let me play the third video for you.
Powerful men, even up to the White House.
Well, Donald Trump, number one, is exonerated in the files. Number two, these women will never get justice. Like so many women around the country who come forward, they will never get justice. I have lost all faith personally in the justice system. So the best thing we can do is expose what happened, expose who did it, and hope that they get shamed out of civil society.
So she was asked about which members of the White House might be involved. Did you see any other names of White House members in there? And what does she say immediately to that question? Donald Trump is exonerated. This is the second time she says it. It's honestly like she's scared or something. That's what I'm getting from this. And then she says right after that she has lost all faith in the justice system. I wonder why that is. Why has one of our representatives now stated that she has lost all faith in the justice system? Is it because of what happened in the building when she went in there to look at these files? Like, did they do something to her in there? Did they tell her something? Because then she says right after that, we just need to shame the predators. You know, look, I've been doing a lot of research on this subject. I wrote about Nancy Mace's reaction about the hearing with the victims when she was left crying. I wrote about it in this document that I was creating all those months ago when it happened. And this, to me, I'm telling you guys, something is not right here. Something is seriously, seriously wrong. This just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I don't even know what to make of this. But you know, let me play the fourth video here, and then we can talk more about it.
But my most and my greatest concern is that nothing's going to happen after this. And my biggest priority is to make sure that we get the information out there so that people go to jail. And if the DOJ isn't going to do their job, then I will do their job for them. And if it means we shame these people out of civil society and out of existence, then that's what we're going to do. If they're not going to go to jail, then that's what we're going to do.
Okay, so she reiterates, you know, we just need to shame these people out of existence. Like, probably nothing's going to happen. We're not going to get anywhere. We need to shame these people out of existence. So here's the themes all tied together for Nancy Mace's press briefing after looking at all of the files unredacted in this DOJ building. She says that Donald Trump is exonerated by the files and victims. She says that likely nothing will happen, that she's lost all faith in the Department of Justice, and that likely what we just need to do is shame the people who were involved in this pedophile network or pedophile cabal, whatever you want to call it at this point, that we just need to shame them out of existence. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know what this is, if this is like an emotional response to something she saw in there or what's going on, but honestly guys, the only thing that really makes sense to me about her statements is that she was threatened by somebody. I don't know what happened in that DOJ building, but this is so out of left field, so out of character. I'll link the press briefing, by the way, in the description of the video so that you can look at it for yourself. But this is not Nancy Mace. Like, this is not the person who has been fighting for this issue all along, never giving up, and outright having an emotional breakdown after hearing what these victims had to say last year. This is not it. This doesn't track at all. What we're seeing here is a complete and utter fucking anomaly. This doesn't make any sense. It's an enigma. And I'm telling you right now that at some point in the future, we're going to probably find out that something really fucked up happened while she was in that Department of Justice building. I really think that this is either part of some grand plan. At this point, I don't see what that plan is. Like, all along since last year in June, I've looked at this whole cover-up thing and I've been thinking, like, okay, what's their plan now? What would be the point of doing this? And I'm just seeing more and more stuff, some of which I'm about to show you. Very concerning shit that came out in the last couple days. I just don't see how this is part of any plan. What I see here, honest to God, is a situation that is about to go absolutely fucking nuclear. I think what we are seeing is completely unprecedented. I mean, this whole situation is unprecedented if you think about it. We have thousands of the most powerful people in the world, and we have now 3.5 million files that are all tying them to very serious crimes. Go back in any history textbook, and at what point in history have the common people, such as you and I, ever had a window this clear into what's going on? And I think they've been losing control of this situation for probably the last 2 years. I know they've certainly been losing control since Trump got into office, and he started making a whole bunch of stupid comments. But I mean, they were so stupid at that point in time that I thought, he's got to be gaming this somehow. He's obviously antagonizing the whole situation. I don't know if he's just detached from reality or if he's trying to hold up the red flag and say, Toro, Toro, come here, come look at this. But more and more, guys, I just don't see how this is, any of this is planned. I really don't. I don't see how having Congress members like Ro Khanna and Thomas Macy crucify your appointees and come out and say that we have 2 tiers of justice in this country. I don't see how that's part of the plan. I really don't. And so let's get into this next part, because I want to show you this stuff. I want to show you a couple things that just, they tell us that this is still going on. We still have the cover up. It still doesn't make sense for Nancy Mace to be saying anything that she's saying, and that the evidence that's being released is getting fucking bad. It's getting really fucking bad. So here's the first thing I want to show you guys. This is from a YouTube channel. It's called Channel 4. They did a great job. Let me play a video clip for you from their channel.
And they were right to be.
A Channel 4 News investigation today reveals that all those pictures, emails, videos and messages released by the Department of Justice, said to be over 3 million pages, may amount to just a fraction of the Epstein material obtained by investigators.
And they're right. Okay, so I went through and I found the document, and what this document says is that there is still at least 20 terabytes of digital data that Epstein collected at his townhouse, at his properties, or on his plane or whatever, still out there somewhere. This is internal government correspondence, which estimates just a single batch or altogether, it really doesn't matter at this point, 20 terabytes to 40 terabytes, so somewhere in that range, of digital files that have been recovered from his properties. Okay, and for perspective, we only have about 400 gigabytes or so. So conservative estimate, guys, we have about 5% or less of the total, digital storage magnitude of everything that was collected by the government. We still have just a fraction, a very small fraction of the evidence, and this is already getting out of control. And some of you may have seen this, but this came out recently. I think it was in the last couple days. We just had this video pop up of Epstein setting up this spy camera in what I believe to be his New York townhouse. It could be anywhere, honestly. I don't actually know. But he set up this spy camera and it was just rolling for like, I don't know what it was, 15, 20 minutes. Like, this is the kind of stuff right here that we still don't have. This is it. This is what we want. This is what probably composes most of that 20 to 40 terabytes of stuff that we still don't have. And who the fuck do you think is on that? Who do you think we would see if those videos came out, or if those audio recordings came out? Because yes, Epstein was very fond of just recording audio as well. Apparently he thought that was enough as far as blackmail material goes. Just record them saying something, and you get the sound of their voice and everything, and they're saying something terrible. Shit, that would scare the fuck out of anybody if you were talking about the kind of shit that these guys are probably talking about. Okay, so yeah, we don't have even a fraction of this information still, and now Nancy Mace is saying somehow, yeah, Trump is exonerated. She goes in there for a couple hours. No way she looks through, all of the 3.5 million files and then makes the determination that, Trump is exonerated by those files. And then she says that the victims also exonerated Trump. Like, it just, I think this is like an SOS. I seriously feel like this is like an SOS or like a help me sign. Like, that's an absurd statement. And when I see absurd statements like that, I really think about them. And it just, in this context, that's what it seems like to me, an SOS. So we really need to keep an eye on this thing, because let me show you this too. This also came out either yesterday or the day before. I don't really know when. But this is really fucking concerning, guys. I came across this on a guy's channel. His name is Dr. G. You should go check him out if you're into this Epstein stuff. He does a forensic level analysis of all the evidence that's been put out. He does a fantastic job. But what he was explaining in one of his videos is that we just found out that the FBI seized these 2 suitcases from Epstein's properties. And these suitcases were packed with diamonds, cash, and passports. All the kinds of stuff that you would want in like a go bag if something really bad were to happen, like the whole world just found out you were a pedophile. You could take that and you could run somewhere. And these passports had all kinds of fake names in them, by the way, and they went to all kinds of different countries. But the really concerning thing here is that we see that there were these binders full of CDs. I think there was a total of like 8 of them. The blue suitcase, this one right here, it looks like it has 3 in there, even though the FBI said 2. To me, it looks like 3. And then they said, in this one here, the black suitcase, that there were 4 binders full of CDs. So what kind of digital information is so important to be putting in these to-go suitcases that you can just pick up and run to the other side of the world with? Why would you need that? And Dr. G, I want to play a segment from his video real quick where he calls the FBI out because apparently they forgot to include this part in their official seizure list or something. They did not include this in particular piece of evidence. Here, I'll play the video.
Now, how likely does that seem to you? That a binder full of what is very likely blackmail material just was the one thing they accidentally inventoried wrong, not the 48 loose diamonds, not any of these other bills or any of these amounts of money. What they screwed up on just happened to be a binder full of what was very likely either illicit or blackmail material, or both.
And I think we all know why they didn't release this. And I personally think that what is on those CDs is the same exact reason why this cover-up has been going on. I think it's the same exact reason why Nancy Mace, who is obviously emotionally invested in this entire thing, is now saying that Donald Trump is exonerated and that we should focus on the victims and just shame the perpetrators, which makes no sense. I think I'm really starting to see the picture, guys, and it is really, really fucking bad. This is bad. I think we've cornered a giant, dangerous, nasty fucking animal, and it is about to absolutely go berserk. I think, honestly, we are about to witness some history. Because again, this whole thing is unprecedented. None of this has ever happened before. I don't see how this is some part of grand plan. I think they are about to be exposed. And I think I keep saying they, who's they? I think it is actually people like Trump, Netanyahu, huge figures in the banking world, media moguls, and even celebrities. I really think that that's what's about to happen. And they are all trying like hell to keep this thing under. I mean, just imagine what is going on, the chaos that is going on behind the scenes right now. All the stuff that they're saying to one another about what's going to happen when this thing does, because it will absolutely fucking explode. I think we are reaching a critical mass here. I think we are looking at a nuclear meltdown here very soon. When I see stuff like this to me with Nancy Mace coming out and doing a 180, this to me is like the warning sign. This is like the collision warning system in an aircraft, screaming at you to pull up. This is really not good. And so I'm gonna leave it there for this video, but if I were you, I would watch this, because if you ask me, we're about to see some shit, because I don't see this slowing down. I don't see this stopping. I think it's with 95% certainty, I think they've lost control of this situation, and we are about to see something of which the likes we have never seen before. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents.